Hey everyone, the morning after the night before, and having slept on it, I can still say that I'm really disappointed with that game yesterday. Really difficult to understand why we are really so slow and lethargic at this moment in time and not really getting out of first gear. I don't know why that would be, whether it's tactics or what, I don't know. But it just feels like we are poodling along at this moment in time and we should be expecting a lot more. I understand how Conte likes to play from the wings and doesn't particularly like a creative midfielder or whatever, but it just feels like that's something that's really missing at the moment. Someone in the middle who can really pull the strings and pull out that pass that's going to link everything together. I personally felt that our first half yesterday was better than the second half, which is unusual. Normally it's the other way around. I felt our first half we did start fairly brightly. We pushed and had a couple of opportunities, but nothing really outstanding, nothing you can really put your finger on and say, yeah, this is a great passage of play, or we're working really well there, or this is linking up well, or whatever. Come the second half, it was a totally different team, which really surprised me because normally we get better in the second half. But in the second half, I felt we were just poor, really poor, and nothing was working for us at all. Yeah, so it's a real difficult one to put your finger on as to what's going on at the moment. But it's one of those things, I guess, we're kind of going to have to go, well, we still picked up a point, right? And at the London Stadium last season, we lost. So if you look at the games that we've played so far, Southampton at home last year we lost. Chelsea away last year we lost. Obviously Nottingham Forest we didn't play. Wolves at home we lost. And now West Ham away we lost. So picking up, 11 points now against 0 points that we would have got last season, taken away. If you keep the Nottingham Forest win, that's good news, right? That's good news. You're still picking up points without actually hitting top gear or actually playing any real decent football. And Kane, obviously 4 goals so far. But there was a lot of players off it yesterday. I know Son's still getting a little bit of stick, but I actually thought that Sonny played better yesterday. He seems like he's getting a bit more into it. So I felt he played better, and I understood why Kulusevski came off for Richarlison rather than Son coming off for Richarlison, because I felt that Kulu kind of dropped off. He was better in the first half and he dropped off a fair bit in the second half for me. So yeah, really disappointing, but it could have been an awful lot worse and nearly was an awful lot worse. In terms of the penalty, when I first saw it, penalty straight away, penalty, ref give it. But to be fair, having looked at the replays, I do think that would have been harsh. It clearly, in my mind, hits the player's head before it hits his hand. He's jumping, so his arms are in the air. And I defy anybody to jump without kind of moving. So I get it. I mean, if that had been given against us, and, we all know about bad handball decisions, if that had been given against us, I think I would have been disappointed. I'd have understood it because, we've seen them given, God knows. But for me, I think it's probably the right decision not having a penalty. And VAR is there for that reason, so I don't think you can really argue it. I think it's one of them you're going to have to move on from and not make a big deal out of. The equaliser, absolutely poor defending. Players had switched off. Crap throwing. Potentially a foul throw there, but even so, if it throws it in like that, the defenders should be all over it and they should be closer to those players. And, Souček just ghosts in and puts it away. They wanted it. He wanted it. He wanted the goal. So ultimately, you can't really complain too much about the result, because minutes after that, West Ham had the opportunity to steal it, and on the balance of the second half, I would have said probably deserved it. Now, I'm no West Ham fan for sure, but you've got to be level-headed and you've got to be clear. Last night I was fuming, absolutely fuming, but today, I've got to count where we are and the progression and what we're doing and all the rest of it. We are not playing great football, absolutely get that. I think we've got decent players in that squad. I mean, Perisic, I think, is decent. You can see that already. Richarlison is decent, and I think once he gets his opportunities, I think he will start to take them. But he needs better service. Emerson again gets slated a lot, but again I didn't think he did too bad yesterday. I think Sanchez did start to show a little bit of his weaknesses in the game, and so did Dyer. A couple of times that you think you've got to do better there. Højbjerg getting that injury, that obviously played on his mind. Bissouma getting booked obviously played on his mind, and that don't help. But ultimately, it's the result. The result's the result. We get a point. We've got to move on. Got to dust ourselves off and hope that, coming up in the weekend, we can actually start to put in a better performance and get some results. We need to start playing catch up. The other teams are now that have kind of got off to a dodgier start have now started winning. Liverpool winning. Getting their goal in the 98th minute of a 5-minute injury time. But so they're starting to win. Arsenal still winning. West Ham are now starting to pick up points. So Man City just obliterating everyone with Haaland. So it's going to be a tough season. I think it's one of those that you can't afford to drop any points, really, and get yourself out of there, because I think all teams will drop points at some stage. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a battle this season. I think a lot of teams are really showing endeavour and pushing on, and even the teams that have been the ones that have struggled in the past, they're picking up odd results here and there. Southampton against Chelsea. No one saw that one coming, for sure. So you have to kind of keep level-headed. I see the comments on Twitter and stuff, and people were having meltdowns and all the rest of it. It's 5 games in. It doesn't matter what other teams are doing. You've got to concentrate on your own. And if someone had said to me before the season started, in the first 5 games you'll be unbeaten, I'd have been happy with that. I'd have took it. So it don't matter about what anyone else's results look like, really. It does at the end of it all, obviously, but at this moment in time, all you can do is worry about your own results. Getting those 11 points is important, especially if you're not playing well, and it's got to get better. Deadline day today, so we'll see if there's any more business to be done. I can't really see it. I think it'd be more outgoings than incomings. You might get an odd one pop up. We'll see. But anyway, disappointed, obviously. But it is what it is. The game's over. We move on to the next one. Take the point. I'm sure West Ham will be happier with the point, considering they were losing, but disappointed that they didn't snatch it right at the death, which they had every opportunity to do. And we can see how often that happens. You've only got to look back to Nottingham Forest when we, got that killer goal right at the end. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Have a good day. Up the Spurs.